Hello everyone. Today I want to show you two methods on how you can add face sprites in RPG Paper Maker. So first you want to place the hero, of course, and then you want to create an interactable NPC. For this we need to choose the sprite first and of course add some text. For this you go into this section, click on show text. I'm just gonna write a little sentence and then I'm gonna show how that looks in game. So we're gonna do this first, then I'm gonna use the typical method that is integrated in the engine, how you can add a facial sprite. So that would be the standard, I guess, more boring method. Depends on how you see it. And then later I'm going to show you how you can make your own artwork. That way you can have like a full body artwork or half body artwork of a character. So here you can see the character works, the NPC, and we can interact with them and read what they're saying. So now to that text box, we can add a facial sprite. So for this, you're gonna click on this area, and here you have multiple pre-made facial sprites of creatures, heroes, and NPCs. I'm gonna pick this one because it fits the sprite that I chose for the main body of the NPC. And this is going to display it throughout the full text that you're going to have for this character. So this is important to mention because that way if you add any choices or anything like that, in general, when there's a text box and you add that icon will be shown. Okay? And the other thing, oh, I called it icon accidentally. These are actually the icons. These are like emojis that you can add throughout your text. So here, for example, you have these little speech bubbles with their little symbols. You can also create your own symbols and put it in that folder and then have it in the text of your characters, which can make the game experience more interesting if you have specific symbols or something that fit your world. Maybe it's like a fantasy world and something that has to do with the history. That could be cool. Anyway, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how I made a character with a customized full body sprite. Now here you can see first I made a thing that makes it so a picture is displayed, and the picture is the artwork I prepared for this character, which is in this folder. If you open the project folder, in there you can drop your own artwork. And as you can see, I have certain settings on this, like 22% zoom, and the rest I left untouched. This was because I struggled a bit with the actual pixel size needed for this engine, but I'm going to show you what exact pixel size I used and how that looks in my art program later. But yeah, if we load into the game now, which by the way is just like a side project I have, I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna finish it, but it's like a cozy RPG that I'm working on. We can interact with the space and the character sprite will be shown in the left. That's also because in the settings of the image we chose the option to show it in the top left corner. I also recommend that you make the artworks this way because on the right side is the space where the choices will always be displayed, which can not be seen if you have your character sprite there, because it does cover the speech box, which means that in your artwork you actually want to cut the design at a certain point, which I'm also going to show later. So now we want to first make a tab where we show a picture, and after that we're going to add the one where we show the text. So here I added the picture in the project folder, you hit refresh and then the arrow, so that way it's in your game. And here I put 22% in the zoom settings, so it works with my pixel size. And the number shown above, that is right now 0, will be important in a moment. So again, we're gonna add some text that goes alongside with the image. And now we're going to load into the game to see what that looks like, because in a moment you're going to see that there's an issue that you don't have with the first method. So here you can see that the image just stays on screen, which of course we don't want. Like, except for if you make like a pretty frame for your game, okay, but if it's character sprites, you don't want that. So what we need to do is to add remove picture, and here's where we're going to add that number. That number is the identifier of that exact image. If you make multiple characters and each one has their own artwork or multiple artworks with different expressions, each one of those artworks needs to have a different number so your system doesn't get confused. And this way we have a clean exit and it just works, right? So now I'm gonna go into my art program. I'm gonna show you. So this one is 2000 on 2000 pixels large. As I said, I have to zoom it in like 20%. So if you make it like 20% bigger, maybe that works better. Like, test different pixel sizes, see how it works for you. But yeah, this is the full artwork, and you can see here that I cut it at a certain point. For this, I just kind of eye measured it and then did it like that. But yeah, that's the two methods. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, please consider checking out my itch.io page and my Ko-fi page. Both are linked in the description. And I also would like to mention that I have finally finished my first visual novel on itch. You can play it for free. It's a psychological horror game with some body horror elements that takes a dark twist on angels and what it can mean to be saved. It revolves around this depressed character Charlie, and I don't want to spoil too much about it, but yeah, the artwork is very experimental. I tried out animation for the first time really, and I'm just happy that it all worked out and that I finally got around to finishing a game, because I got so many projects and so many ideas. So I would really love it if you would check it out and tell me what you think. So yeah, thank you so much for staying for this part, and I hope I see you in the next one.